or one of our designers has a particular need to have a tool that creates curving shapes in a design, the sort of thing you might use for edging for, in this case, a grassed area. And there are a number of ways you can do it. You could use the Polyline command and apply some fitting. Let's just illustrate that. The Polyline, we could just click, 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 and move around like so, and at that point then right click and enter closed. That closes the polyline. Then when we select it, we can apply curve fitting of various types. We'll just take the simplest, and then we can alter the shape by moving these vertices, move them along, and you can see that the shape, the underlying shape, changes, and we can then unselect all. So there's our shape, but it has a sort of element, a leap of faith. You've got to hope that you're going to get the sort of shape you want. The spline command can give you a great deal of flexibility. So let's sort of repeat that again. When I pick the spline command, can you see now that I'm able to move around and I'm getting nice curving shapes as I do? And can you see as I move my mouse, the curve that's being set changes quite a lot. The difficulty some users have is how to finish off this line. You may, if you use this command and test it out, you'll have at least one little handle on the end of the spline. Let me illustrate by right-clicking and picking Enter. Now at this point, can you see it's gone back, the spline command's gone back to the start point, and what it's wanting me to do is to indicate the tangent to the curve there. I could work this in lots of different ways. For the moment I'll do that, and then the moment that we fix the tangent to the beginning point of the spline, now we're asked to tweak the spline again. So I might click the end angle. Remember, I'm just indicating an angle, so there we are. So we have a spline. Now notice these little handles here. They enable you, just like they do in blocks, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. What you can do there is twist things and click things down. Can you see I'm changing the end point of the spline? You can also say I'm going to close the spline, and then you could tweak the spline in this way. Just move a vertex around, and you could fill it like I've done over here on the right with some sort of color. So these little handles can be really quite important. So we've had and very, very flexible. So we've got the ability now to change that shape. It's not terribly different to the Polyline command, but in a sense it gives you the opportunity to flex it as you are creating the initial vertices. If I'm reminded that if you pick a block here, see this one, I've got the same ability to do things with it. So you may be able to see that as I move that little handle, I'm able to rotate. The ellipse command does similar sort of things. So if we say I'm going to draw an ellipse, where's the center point of an ellipse? I'll just come over to the right to give us some clear area. There's the center point, the major axis, and then the minor axis. And if there's the ellipse, can you see we have little handles? We can change that angle, twist that around. Can you see what I'm now doing is just taking portion of the ellipse by simply dragging that little handle around. So you can get some parabolic shapes if you require. So that's a really important, there's the rotation of it. So the ellipse element can be manipulated by the little handles and the little hooks that are in we often use those little handles to put some variation. If you have a symbol, and you see this one's got some little darker lines within it, we often spin our symbols around so that they all vary a little bit in their angle. And I always like also to pick the scale command and just rescale things so you get variation in rotation angle and size when you're using. So to sum up, those flexible shapes can be drawn with polylines or with splines. There's also a boundary option which some people find useful, so draw boundary, and we just click, click, click like so. The boundary command always wants you to close it. So once we've done that, we can put some curve fitting on. So there's another way of drawing a shape. So a polyline with curve fitting, a spline, a boundary command, and then using those little handles that you'll find to change, in this case, an ellipse. So do experiment with them. They can be very useful and improve the speed of your drafting.